The time has come where there is literally a pill for anything that ails you. But what consequences come with such a convenience? Most of the time when you visit a physician's office, they're going to prescribe you with some kind of medication. Are you aware that there is a proper way of disposing this medication if it goes unused or becomes expired? I was shocked by the amount of healthcare providers who don't know the proper procedure in disposing of these pharmaceuticals. Most people think that flushing them down the toilet or throwing them in the garbage can is the proper procedure. These people are not necessarily wrong, but I wanted to become better educated so that way I knew how to properly dispose of medications in order to not harm the environment or our drinking water. Studies have shown that once you flush medication down the toilet, it goes into our water, which then spreads throughout our environment. This has not shown any negative effects in humans as of yet, but it has started to show negative effects in our aquatic life. An overwhelming amount of researchers agree that pharmaceutical waste is something that needs immediate attention. There needs to be an easier, accessible way for us to dispose of pharmaceuticals that are not damaging to our environment. The unfortunate truth is that many people are just not properly educated. It was originally believed that the flushing method was the best way to go about getting rid of your pharmaceuticals and out of your house and out of the reach of your children. Hospitals are also a large contributor of pharmaceutical waste. In fact, an EPA analysis of a nationwide hospital pharmaceutical disposal found that hospitals dispose of 9,700 tons of pharmaceutical waste just in 1 year. If we hope to save our environment and reverse the damage done in our water, we need to become more educated on how we dispose properly with our medications. So what really is the best way to dispose of medications? Many states have come up with these programs called take-back programs. These are programs usually held by your local police. Some Walgreens have them also, where you can bring your medication to this location and there's an officer guarding a bin, and you bring your medication to this officer and he will secure it in this bin. Once the collection is complete and everybody has dropped off all of their pharmaceuticals, the officers then call the biomedical companies. They come out, get the bins, and then they incinerate the bins, which destroys all traces of all the pharmaceutical waste. The FDA asks us, when disposing of medication, to ask ourselves a couple of questions first. The first question they ask is, do you have a local take-back program? Is there somewhere near you that you can take your medications to properly dispose of them? If the answer is yes, perfect. Do that, take your medication to that location, drop it off, and be done with it. If your answer was no, there are a couple different options that you can follow in order to properly dispose of your drugs. So the first one is you can flush them down the toilet if they are on the FDA approved list. So you're going to want to go to the FDA's website and look at the list and make sure that it's flush appropriate. And if your medication is, then you can flush it, take your bottle, and make sure there's no personal information left on your bottle, whether you take a Sharpie to it or you peel the label off and throw it away. The last option that you have is also to throw them in the garbage, but there is a proper procedure when throwing medication in the garbage. So the FDA has a procedure manual. It's 4 steps long, so I'm going to demonstrate really quick for you how to properly throw pharmaceuticals in the garbage can. So first, they tell you to take a plastic Ziploc bag, and you're going to want to then pour your medication into the plastic bag. So once you're done with that, then they ask you not to just throw your baggie of pills in the garbage can. They ask you to put an unpalatable substance in with your baggie, something that gets stuck to the pills that you don't want to eat it. They recommend dirt, cat litter, coffee grounds, So I'm just going to pour some coffee grounds in my little baggie here. And once you Ziploc this bag, then you can mix all the pills around in this. And their hope is that when it's in a bag like this, then you can't see what's in the bag. Nobody's going to pick up a baggie of coffee grounds and search through it and think that there's something in there. So if you're trying to prevent that, this is a great way. Once you mix everything up in here, then it's okay to throw away. Then you can just toss your bag in your garbage can and you're done and they're disposed of properly. The fourth and last step, again, you're going to want to make sure that you look at your bottle and you take off any personal information before recycling or throwing this bottle away also. So, in conclusion, pharmaceutical waste has become more and more of an issue in our environment and in our country. Whenever disposing of medication, individuals need to be properly educated and know the right steps in order to dispose of that medication. I hope I was able to help you better understand why and how to properly dispose of your medication. So that way it does not infect the environment and it does not affect our drinking water.